holidays, friends. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. 'Tis the season for the holiday parties. And so in this video, I'm going to be bringing you my two favorite go-to holiday party looks. These are going to be easy, wearable, chic. Wearable is key here because I know a lot of you guys, you don't like to go too big. So these are going to be very beautiful and elegant. The first one is going to be this one, focusing on a beautiful bright lip and glowing skin. The second one is going to focus more so on the eyes and one of the biggest trends of this holiday season, which is metallics. And as we go along, friends, I'm going to be using some of my favorite luxury beauty products, a lot of things from the recent holiday collections, so we can get use out of the things that we have. And I will also suggest to you all some other luxury beauty alternatives in case you want to shop your stash this holiday season. So if you want to hang out with me and see how I got these beautiful looks, then keep watching. Okay, party people, let's dive into look number one, which I am calling Holiday Sweetheart. The theme of this look is going to be bright, fresh, glowing skin, just a little touch of sparkle, and then the focus of the look is going to be a bright, beautiful holiday red lip, of which I have many options for you depending on your lipstick preferences. For both of the looks, I'm going to do somewhat of a similar base. I'm going to tweak it just a little bit, you guys will see. And the foundation that I'm going to be using is the Prada foundation. I really like this because this says special event to me. It's a little bit more full coverage, it is a little bit more matte, but it's very glowy. It gives you just the most perfect looking skin, and it also lasts really long as well. This is something that I reach for if I'm going out, if I'm going to a party. It's not so much like an everyday foundation for me. And I'm actually going to be mixing this as well with this product right here, just to give it even more glow and a little bit of hydration as well. This is the RMS Supernatural Radiance Serum, and I'm going to be using the shade Light Aura because this look, it's going to be a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, I guess you could say. The theme of the complexion is merry and bright. I just like to mix them together. I like the foundation on its own, but I really like it when I mix it in with this because it just gives me so much glow. And you don't need to put a lot. I only did one pump of each. Just how much radiance that gives me, and it does a great job of covering up my redness. I'm also breaking out a lot today, so I think this is gonna be a good option for us. If you don't have this foundation, some other alternatives that you might have that I think are really good are, number one, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. The Pat McGrath foundation is really good for this type of look as well. The Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear foundation. I know a lot of people like the Makeup Forever HD foundation. If you guys have maybe something like a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter or the e.l.f. Halo Glow, you could use that instead of the RMS. So you have so many options here, guys. I obviously recommend the ones that I'm using in this video, but throughout the video, we'll give you guys some other options just to kind of inspire you to shop your stash. This is what the complexion is looking like. As you can see, this foundation, it's a little bit more on the matte side, but it's very glowy and it does a really good job of covering up my redness and my breakouts. Now for concealer, similarly, I want something that's going to be really glowy and reflective. I love the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Concealer, so this is what I'm going to go in with today. But some other really good alternatives to this one would be the Makeup by Mario Concealer. There's the new Armani Power Fabric Concealer. I also think that the Dior Forever Concealer would work really well for this. I think that this concealer works really nicely with the Prada foundation. We are going to be doing a bold lip today, so next I'm going to prep my lips real quick, and I'm using the Glossier Balm.com. This was in a limited edition flavor, unfortunately. This is the Swiss Miss one. I love it for holiday. I mean, I use it all year round, but I love it for holiday. But they also have like a peppermint one, they have a coconut cake one, vanilla, they have fig jam, they have so many good flavors. So I'm just gonna pop this on my lips and let that soak in while we do the rest of the makeup. By the way, if you are new here, hi, welcome. My name is Sophia and I love luxury beauty. I upload new videos just like this one every single week. I do a lot of new makeup reviews, fun and helpful guys, get ready with me's, you name it. So if you love luxury beauty, hit that subscribe button to join our fam because we would love to have you. And as a reminder, friends, all the makeup that I talk about today and also some of the other suggestions that I make for these products, I will be linking them in the description box down below, along with all the shade names to help you out. I do use affiliate links, so if you shop through my links, I earn a small commission, which goes towards supporting my channel. So thank you to those of you who have shopped through my links this holiday season. And with that, friends, let's get back to the rest of this tutorial. Next up, friends, I'm going to be going in with the Guerlain Holiday Meteorites. This is in the shade Light 2, but it comes in the beautiful limited edition holiday packaging. I'm gonna be using the Sonia G Sheer Buffer Brush, and I know that this is technically designed to be used with creams and liquids, but I think it works amazing for powders as well. So just because I'm going for this glowy look, I wanna add a little bit of blurring on top. I know it might be a little bit extra, probably for every day I wouldn't do this extra step with such a glowy foundation because it doesn't really need to be set. The Prada foundation, it kind of sets itself. I just want to go for extra glow with this look. By the way, friends, if you didn't get to pick up these Météorites, a really good alternative would be basically any of the Hourglass ambient lighting finishing powders. Also, if you have the Chantecaille butterfly blurring powder, maybe they just call it the blurring powder nowadays, you can also use that as an alternative as well. Speaking of Hourglass, for my bronzer, I'm going to be going into the Hourglass Jellyfish palette. This was launched for holiday 2023, and I really like the bronzer in this one. It's light, it has a little bit of warmth, and once again, the theme of the base here is merry and bright, very glowy and fresh and beautiful for holiday. And the Hourglass bronzers, they're super good if you want something glowy and very natural. If you don't have the Hourglass Jellyfish palette, I think pretty much any Hourglass bronzer would work really well if you have one of the palettes from last year. If you have the Chantecaille bronzer, that one is really beautiful and glowy and also very natural. I also really like, if you can get it, I know it's been out of stock for a while, but the Wayne Goss bronzer, if you already have that one is so good and glowy as well. I don't want my contour to be too strong in this look. I want it to be a little bit softer, so I'm going to be using the Westman Atelier Face Tray Stick. I know I use this so much for every day. This is in the shade Biscuit, and this is going to add just a little bit more sculpt to the face. For the next look, we'll do something a little bit, you know, more toasted, maybe a little bit, I don't want to say extreme, but a little bit more chiseled. But for this look, I'm going for more of like that soft contour. For blush, I'm going to be going in with one of the shades from Rare Beauty. This is the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush, and this is in the shade Grateful. It's a beautiful bright red, and this is in the Dewy formula. I can't wait to show this to you. I don't know if I've demoed this shade on my channel before, and I thought that this was the most perfect holiday red. I love it, and I don't think you guys need to be afraid of this shade. I know it looks so bright, but trust me, once it goes on the cheeks, it sheers out to the most beautiful, natural, romantic flush of color. I'm putting it on the back of my hand just to make sure that I don't overdo it. See what I mean? It gives you such a beautiful flush. You just want to make sure you sheer it out, and you can see that that added a little bit of fresh dewiness to the cheeks. They also have a matte formula if you're worried about it being maybe a little bit too glowy, but just the slightest little bit gives you that beautiful cold girl rosy cheek holiday type of look. And as an alternative, guys, if you don't want to go out and buy a bright red blush just like this one, you can use your lipstick. You can totally use your lipstick as a blush. So before you go and spend the money, although the Rare Beauty blushes are pretty affordable, you can totally go in with any of the lip products that I'm gonna recommend to you once we get to that step of this look. I want to finish up the complexion first before we go into the eyes and lips. So I'm going to finish things with a beautiful highlighter. And for this look, I'm going to go in with the limited edition one from the Clé de Peau holiday collection. This one was called Dawn of Destiny. And you guys know this one was a little bit on the frosty side. These can be pretty frosty, but that's the look I'm going for. If you want something a little bit more subdued, I would recommend the RMS highlighter in the shade Prosecco. If you need something a little bit deeper to suit your skin tone, those Charlotte Tilbury highlighters are really good, and they come in a couple of different shades. But for me, I want a little bit of frostiness. So I'm gonna pop that on, and then I'm gonna go back in with my buffer brush, and I'm going to melt that into the skin. See how well this works with powder? I know people use it for creams and liquids, but I love it for highlighters and, you know, setting powder and that kind of stuff. And there you guys can see that beautiful luminosity. So once you go in and buff it, it doesn't look so stark. It really diffuses those light reflecting pigments. And that's how I get this really nice, fresh, natural cheekbone. Oh, I forgot to mention, if you did get the Jellyfish palette, the highlighter in here is also a really good alternative. See that? See how they're so similar? I quickly did my brows off camera because next, friends, we're gonna go into the eyes, and the eyes are gonna be very simple. This is not gonna be a complex holiday look. I'm gonna be using some single shadows actually for the eyes, and the theme is bright, slightly frosty, a little bit sparkly if you want to, and I'm gonna show you guys a couple of my favorite single eyeshadows that you can use for this look. because you might already have one of these. So the first one is the Lisa Eldridge Liquid Luxe eyeshadow, and this is in the shade Cressida. We'll do some swatches here so you guys can see. Isn't that gorgeous? These last all day. Very, very good liquid formula. I also have here the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick in the shade Truffle. This one is great if you want something that's going to be a little bit more subtle. See how that one kind of blends into the tone of my skin? If you want to kick things up a notch, I also have the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow stick in the shade Moonstone. That one is a little bit glittery. Not a topper necessarily. There's some opaqueness to it, but it's just more like that shimmery formula. Also have right here, this is from Victoria Beckham. If you guys have never tried her eyeshadow singles, this is the shade Blonde. This one is very white and a little bit kind of multi-dimensional. I have one here that's a little bit more affordable. This is one of those Sephora eyeshadow singles, and this is in the shade Milky Way. I noticed they always have this one as like a bestseller. Just so creamy and metallic. And then finally, guys, I also have one of the Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadows. This is in the shade Cosmic. You guys can see that. Woo! That's a little bit more of a topper shade. I like to use this more as a topper, less so all over the lid. So if you want to add a little bit of extra sparkle, having this in your makeup bag is great. Now which one do I want to use? I think I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown stick in Truffle to show you guys something a little bit softer, and then we'll layer on one of the other ones to give it a little bit more sparkle. I actually wore this shade, it was yesterday or the day before, to work, and it's just a really, really nice, subtle, soft shimmer, not super metallic. If you have a deeper skin tone, this definitely will pop on you a little bit more. I'm also going to apply that to the lower lash line as well. So this is what Truffle looks like. As I mentioned, this is kind of your super subtle option. And now what we will do is we can layer on something a little bit more shimmery. I'm thinking maybe the Victoria Beckham eyeshadow in Blonde. I like this one because it has that beautiful kind of Snow White character to it. And I am going to tap off my brush because it is quite reflective. I'm going to apply just a little bit of that to the bottom lash line as well. I think I want to take the Bobbi Brown stick in Moonstone, which was that more sparkly one, and I'm going to pop that in the inner corner because these have such lasting power. I feel like they go really well in the inner corner, like they're not gonna get into my eye. All right, friends, we're getting to the red lip in just a second, I promise. But before we do that, I do want to finish up the eyes with a little bit of crisp liquid liner, very nice, neat, and festive, and also my favorite false lashes. Pretty much all of the eye looks that I create here on my channel, I try and design them to look good without having to put on false lashes. And I don't wear false lashes on the reg, but when I go out, if I'm going to a party, special event, like someone's birthday or something of that nature, I do like to pop on false lashes. And these are the ones that are my go-tos because as somebody that I just don't really enjoy the process of putting them on, I'm not good at putting them on, these are the ones that work the best for me. These are the easiest to apply. Now, these are from Moxielash. These were sent to me a couple months ago. This totally isn't sponsored. This is pretty much all I use, and these are magnetic lashes. So the way that it works is that you apply the magnetic liquid eyeliner. Once you get it on, you let it dry for about 2 minutes. It does not move, and then you can very easily apply any of the magnetic lashes. Each of these lashes has like a teeny little magnet going along the band. Very easy to work with. If you mess up, you just pull it off and then you put it back on. You can adjust them and you can use these so many times. This is basically like a little lash wardrobe, and this particular kit is called the Natural Kit. So all of the ones in here are very light. They just kind of enhance what you have. They create more of like that open eye, because I feel like when I go in with a lot of other lashes, it makes my eyes look heavy. I don't know, I just don't feel like myself. I don't like those really big lashes. No shame, some people look fabulous with them, but these right here in the Natural Kit are the ones that work for me. So let me show you what these look like. Here is what the eyeliner looks like. Like I said, it's just kind of similar to one of those little potted eyeliners that you would get at the drugstore or at Sephora, and you use it just like any other eyeliner. I am gonna do it off camera though, because I cannot do this on camera, so I will be right back. All right, friends, so here's what the eyeliner looks like, and while the eyeliner is drying, because it has to dry for about 2 minutes, I usually like to just go in with a nice base of mascara. I'm gonna be using the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions mascara, because I feel like this one, it kind of helps the lashes blend into my natural lash, but also this is very long wearing. So if you're going to a party, if you have a night out, this is going to be a fantastic option for you. All right, friends, so I added one of the lashes on this side just so you can see the difference. And I thought we could do the second one on camera. I'm just going in with the lightest ones here. I believe that these are called Baby Lash. Once again, I'm gonna list the style names and everything down below. And literally, boop, that's it. That's it. And if you mess up, if you want to adjust it, if you're like, oh, it's too much towards the corner, or it's too much towards the center or something like that, you literally can just kind of pull and adjust it, and they don't feel weird on my eyes at all. And there you go. Aren't these awesome? I love them. I know there's a lot of other brands out there that do the magnetic lashes, but these just happen to be the ones that I have. Now we're doing the red lip, and I pulled out for you guys some of my favorite red lipsticks in a variety of formulas. So if you want to go more sheer, if that's more comfortable for you, you can do that. Or if you want to be more bold, you want something very pigmented and transfer proof, I have that as well. So starting off with more of like the sheer, glossier, kind of easy everyday type of formula, I have Palazzo from Lisa Eldridge. This is in the sheer formula that she does. This one's a little bit, you know, more moisturizing, a little bit sheer, kind of something you can probably put on without a mirror. I also have the Chantecaille lip veil in the shade Ruby. I wore this in my recent Chantecaille Black Friday video. And once again, this is in more of like that sheer formula, but you definitely can build it up. I also thought that the YSL Candy Glaze is a really nice option. Look at that. If you want something juicy and glossy and delicious like candy, you are gonna love that one. This right here is a new favorite of mine. This is one of the legendary serum lipsticks from RMS, and this is in the shade Ruby Moon. It is so gorgeous and sort of saturated, but as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of shine. You get a lot of moisture, richness, and also a little bit more longevity compared to the shine and sheerness of these other formulas. And then kind of moving into more of like a classic red, we have Charlotte Tilbury Red Carpet Red. I mean, this is a classic if you want to go to red lipstick. That one is beautiful. Also, another good go-to red is of course Velvet Ribbon from Lisa Eldridge. This is so beautiful. As you can see, it's very, very similar to Red Carpet Red. I don't know, I know people are gonna ask me which one's better. They're both good, guys. They're both good. I would say if you want something maybe a little bit creamier, probably go with the Lisa Eldridge. And then finally, guys, I recommend for a liquid lipstick something very transfer proof, the newer ones from Tom Ford. And this shade, oh my God, look at this shade. This is called Temptress. It is such a bright, gorgeous red, and it is very similar to Red Carpet Red and Velvet Ribbon. So if you want something that's a similar shade, but you want it to be transfer proof, go with these from Tom Ford. I know they're kind of pricey, but if you want just like a single go-to red, then this is gonna work out for you. Which one do I want to use? I think I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Red Carpet Red, because I haven't worn that one in a while, and I don't even know if I've ever worn it on my channel. So let's go in with this one. Oh, so good. So creamy, and it glides on really well, especially because I prepped my lips. All right, the lip is done. Final thing is just taking out the hair. Actually, I'm gonna pop on some earrings as well. And here you have it, friends. This is look number 1, Holiday Sweetheart. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I love the way that this came out. I love the bright lip. I love the fresh skin, the slightly frosty eye, the very subtle lashes. This is one of my favorite go-tos for the holiday season. I'm also going to be linking in the description box, friends, the curling iron that I like to use, because I pretty much always get questions about that whenever I do one of these tutorials. And I'm also going to be linking down below these beautiful new earrings that I got. They're not too expensive. They make a really great gift, or just a really beautiful statement piece for a holiday look going out. I even wear them to work. They're literally the best. I'm obsessed with them. So I'll put that in the description box as well. And with that, friends, let's get on to look number 2. And look number 2, I am calling Gilded Angel. And this look is going to focus more so on the eyes. It's also going to be a little bit warmer in tone. We're going to be playing around with a huge trend this holiday season, which is metallics. So far I've put on my Prada foundation and my concealer. The only change that I did is that I used the RMS serum in the medium shade. This one is much more golden. So instead of using the light shade, which has more of like that pinky, sort of more cool tone, this one is a lot warmer, and it does a really nice job of kind of warming up my face, giving a little bit more of like a tan, more of that golden glow, so to speak. So I have my base on right now. I'm gonna be going in with bronzer right now, and I wanted to pick something that was a little bit more pigmented. We're gonna go for more of a deeper sculpt with this look, and I'm gonna be using the Victoria Beckham bronzing brick. This is in shade number 2. It's very matte. It's not going to be quite as glowy as the other one that we used. And I'll kind of go in with the lighter color just on a bigger area of the face. And then what I'll do is I'll go into this darker color and I'll just kind of lightly dust this where I want it, because if I go in with the darker color everywhere, it's not going to look as natural. I like that these come with 2 shades, so you can kind of customize the look a little bit more to your liking. If you're new here, by the way, this is one of my favorite all-time bronzers, and the packaging is so nice. Not the most travel friendly, but it's very weighty, very luxe. Now that I am bronzed, I'm gonna add in a little bit of contouring. And like I said, guys, I'm gonna go for a more chiseled look, or look number 2. So I'm gonna be using the Tom Ford shade in Illuminate, and this is in the shade 1.0. This is a good standard shade for most people. If you are a little bit fair like me, you might want to go for the 0.5 shade, but this one works for me if I'm looking to do a little bit more from a contouring perspective. And I'm also using a smaller brush so that I can really get that here and kind of get that little chiseled effect on my face. For blush, I'm going to be revisiting one of my all-time favorites that I haven't used on my channel in a while. It is the McGrath blush in the shade Desert Orchid. This is such a beautiful neutral blush. Her blushes are pretty pigmented, so I'm going to be using kind of a lighter, wispier brush to apply this. I would say if you guys have the RMS Maiden's blush, that would be a good alternative to this, or even the Crystal Slipper. That one is not quite as warm as this one, because this one has kind of like that peachy undertone. There's also a lot of Suqqu blushes that are very similar to this that you guys might already have in your collection. I told you this look was called Gilded Angel, right? So we have to go in with a little bit of gold, and I'm going to start introducing this on the cheekbones in the form of highlighter. The one that I'm going to be using is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Goldgasm shade. It is quite of a yellowy gold. If you have a warmer skin tone, if you have a deeper skin tone, this is gonna work great. I'm gonna use this, even though I'm really fair, to show you guys what it looks like. There's also a lighter version of this, which is called Spotlight. It's not as warm, it's a little bit more cool toned. So I'm going to apply a little bit of that on the cheekbone, and I'm gonna use kind of like a bigger brush to buff it out. This is the BK Beauty 101. See, it's really not that dark. It's not as dark as you think it's going to be, especially when you shear it out, but it does give you that kind of like holiday gold gilded type of effect. You can also use this on the eyes as well. And if you don't have this, guys, once again, maybe you have the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, maybe you have the Arc Glow Lust. Also, Rare Beauty makes a lot of really good liquid highlighters, so all of those are very nice alternatives. Comment down below, let me know, would you wear something like this? I like that bright pop of gold, and I think especially for a holiday occasion, I'm not afraid to kind of go all out. I'll wear a bright bold lip, I'll wear a gold cheekbone. So that is what that is looking like. Beautiful. Let's start working with the eyes, friends. I already did my brows before coming and filming on camera, so we are ready to go. And I have a couple of palettes here, so I might dip in and out of several of them, to be honest with you. But the main one that I'm going to be using today is the holiday palette from Dior. This is called Promenade Dorée. As you can see, we have some beautiful gold metallics, and then we also have a little pop of silver in the center. And I'm going to start things off, I think, with this medium tone shade. A little bit on the lighter side, and I'm just going to get a nice base all over the eye just to start. I'm also going to apply that shade right here to the lower lash line. Next, I'm going to go into the Dior Copper Essentials palette. There's a lot of really pretty gold shades in this one, and I'm going to use this warmer tone copper shade. It is the Copper Essentials palette after all. The Promenade Dorée is really great if you want something that's a little bit less warm toned, but the Copper Essentials is perfect if you want a little mix of burgundies, warmer tones. There's just more shades, so you have a little bit more to work with. And I am just applying this to the outer half of the lid. I will also apply that copper shade to the lower lash line. I'm going back into Promenade Doré, and I'm gonna dip into the darkest shade in the palette. Using a smaller brush, I'm gonna build up even more depth right here in the outer corner so we get a nice gradient. Going into Copper Essentials, I'm going to use the darkest shade from this palette. This one is darker than the one from Promenade Doré. It also is a true matte, so it's going to give us a lot more just pigmentation and depth, and I'm going to work that just right there on kind of like the outer lash line. If you have the Natasha Denona Copper palette, I feel like you could do a lot of this as well. If you have the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette, I feel like you could get a similar look. The Viseart Mink Set palette, I think that would be really good. Maybe the Chanel Holiday palette from last year. That one had a lot of really beautiful kind of golden warm tones in it as well. So you guys definitely have these shades in your collections, or if you already bought some of these holiday palettes, hopefully this will serve as inspiration. I want to add more of a yellow gold character to this look. I know some people that is not for them, but I like a little bit more of a pop, especially for a holiday look. We need to become a gilded angel. And so what I think you could use is you could use this shade from the Copper Essentials palette. If you have a single, maybe from like Victoria Beckham Beauty or even Tarte or even Hourglass, all of them have really good topper shades that are gold. I think the one though that I'm going to use is one of my favorites from this year, and it is the Byredo Remembrance palette. And I'm going to use this shade right here, which is so good. I'm going in with my Angie Hot and Flashy shimmer brush. I'm gonna tap off my brush so I don't get it all over the place. And then this is really gonna help us add a little bit more to this look. I'm also applying that gold to the lower lash line in the center right here. Actually, I think I'm going to take that into the inner corner as well because I really like the tone of that. I do feel like I need just a little bit more sparkle because I really like the tone of this, but I want a little glint of something. So I went into my makeup room and I grabbed one of my Mothership palettes. This one is Midnight Sun, and I'm going to be using this golden shade right here. It's just like a really nice basic gold topper shade. I'm gonna wet my brush with a little bit of Mist and Fix spray, and we're gonna take that right there in the center. Nobody does it better than Pat McGrath with these special shades. I love these. So there you go. That's kind of like a little close-up on the eye situation. For the liner, I want to use something that is brown, and I also want to use something that's going to be super long wearing. So one of my favorites is the Dior On Stage Crayon. Clearly this is in the shade brown. It's a really nice dark everyday type of brown. This is one of my go-to brown pencil liners for, you know, every day or even like a fancy look like this one. Draw that on the lash line, and then what I like to do is use the smudger on the other end to just kind of soften it up, but not too much because I don't want it to be blended away. So I just finished up the eyeliner, and this is what it looks like. I winged it out a little bit, I smudged it a little bit. I also put just a little bit on the lower lash line, but keeping it to the outer corner. And I also applied a dark brown mascara. I really like this one from Tower 28. This is in the shade Drift. This is the new brown shade. And then finally, friends, what I did is I applied just a little bit of the magnetic Moxielash liner, but in the brown shade to kind of keep with like the warm brown theme. So while that's drying, we are now going to move on to the lips. A lot of you guys have been asking me lately, what is your all-time favorite lip combo? And for a nude lip, it's definitely this one. So I like to go in first with Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. It's called Iconic Nude for a reason, because indeed it is iconic. I already prepped my lips earlier with the GlossierBomb.com. So this is just gonna sort of glide all over the lips. I like to get a nice little even layer, and I kind of spread it around. I know that sounds weird that I like to almost use it as a lipstick, but I really feel like this gives me more longevity. My camera died there for a second while I was applying the lipstick. I just applied the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick in the shade Catwalking. This is the perfect nude shade. I swatched it for you guys right here on the back of my hand. This is gonna be more of like a peachy nude or a true nude compared to Pillow Talk, which is more on the pinky side. And as you guys can see, it went perfectly with the Iconic Nude liner, my favorite lip combo. But that's not enough, friends. That's not enough because I need to add a little bit of gold to the lips. And what better product to use than the Chanel lip gloss in Melted Honey. Ooh, I love this shade. It is pretty transparent, but it has a bunch of gold sparkles. So it's just a really beautiful way to kind of add that gilded touch to the lips, a little bit of shine. Final touch is to pop on my baby lashes, and you guys can see the difference with and without. Looks really beautiful without. You don't need lashes for this look, but it does add just like a little bit something extra. I really do like these half lashes from Moxielash. Once again, this style is called Baby Lash, and it is so good, and it really opens up the eyes, and I feel like it gives me a little bit of a lift as well. All right, friends, here is the final look, Gilded Angel. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I think my favorite part of this look is definitely the highlighter. Like, the cheekbone is so golden and poppin' and juicy without being too much. Let me know what you think of this look. Also, as you can see, I do have the earrings in the gold tone as well. So if you were curious, they also come in this beautiful shade. I had so much fun creating these looks with you guys. Now it is your turn. Sound off in the comments down below and let me know, what did you think of these looks? Which one is your favorite? What is your go-to holiday look and favorite products to use? Please let us know in the comment section. If you like this video, please don't forget to give this a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, friends, I hope that you see some beauty in your day, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.